And Corpus Christi and Nueces County leaders responding to the latest numbers by announcing a new set of beach restrictions for the approaching 4th of July weekend. Vehicular traffic will be banned along a 100-mile stretch from Port Aransas all the way to the National Seashore. Our Bill Churchwell has more on that tonight, as well as the highlights of today's health briefing at City Hall.
274 new cases.
That record-setting amount of new coronavirus cases announced during the city-county briefing, painting an alarming picture of the sharp increase, something local hospitals are also feeling.
Our hospitals in Nueces County in the Corpus Christi area are either at or nearing at capacity.
Especially when it comes to the number of ICU beds meant for COVID-19 patients. Currently, there are 105 patients in the hospital. 33 of them are in intensive care.
We have about 9 ICU beds available. They've been fluctuating throughout the day, but at either rate, we do not like these numbers.
We could have beds, but it really takes staff, nursing staff, to manage the patient, and our nursing staff are short.
A request has been made to the state to help provide additional staffing. Health Director Annette Rodriguez simply asking folks to stay home, as she also addressed a lack of testing supplies.
There is no reason for you to panic or to get anxiety over, I couldn't find a place to get a test.
As the 4th of July holiday quickly approaches, city and county leaders are doing their part to prevent the spread. Nueces County Judge Barbara Canales announcing she is working on an order to restrict vehicles on a 100-mile stretch of beach over the holiday weekend, from Port Aransas all the way down to the Padre Island National Seashore, similar to what we saw during Easter weekend.
I do think that we have learned what happens when we don't protect our community from the tens of thousands of people that love to congregate together on a holiday weekend.
Piers and RV parks will remain open. Canales saying leaders are doing everything they can to prevent another stay-at-home order.
How long this restriction will be in place probably is dependent upon us. And so therefore tomorrow I will amend the mask order to include all commercial entities and all public spaces.
The county judge is expected to sign both orders on Wednesday. Bill Churchwell, 3 News.